Hello friends, welcome to Shared and Smiles. I'm Alyssa and today is Monday, so now that I'm getting back into the swing of things and actually getting on a schedule, that means it's time for another Upon First Listen album review. For this one, I'm going to be doing the album El Dorado by Shakira. I love Shakira. Sometimes I go through phases where I listen to a lot of music by one artist at a time, and I actually went through like a big Shakira phase towards the early years of my college life. So I'm definitely a fan, and so I'm excited to give this album a review. Before I start, I have a very little Spanish background, and a lot of these songs do have like Spanish titles, so I'm going to do my best. I did listen to the songs. These are, of course, how my Upon First Listen album reviews work, is I listen to them one time and it's just kind of first reaction, what I feel after listening to them. So I haven't listened to it a lot, and I also try not to do a lot of research. That being said, I'm going to call on that a little bit and try to my best to say these words, and I don't want to offend anybody, and if I do mispronounce something, please feel free to correct me down below, because I'm fully aware that I am a human who makes mistakes. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first song on the album is called Me Enamoré, which is I Fell in Love, and the song is about just that, falling in love. It is in Spanish, and it's very danceable, and it's very true to the sound that we've come to expect of Shakira every time she puts something out. So it's gonna stay very true to her style, and the first song sets that up very nicely. The second song is called Nada, which translates to nothing, and it's about having nothing without someone and missing someone, and the feelings that kind of come along with that. And it instantly pulls back into a slower song after the first one, opening up with the bigger sound that we were more expecting. But the chorus still packs a punch with additional instrumentation that isn't necessarily present in the verses. The third song is called Chantaje, and it translates to blackmail, and it's with another person called Maluma. I'm not familiar with that artist, but they do show up again later. And it's almost conversational sounding, singing in the verses with a little bit of like back and forth and how the singing's going. And it's about a relationship that's just kind of very uncertain. No one knows where they stand with the other person. No one knows what they want to come of it. And this song, I think, represents that. Even in just the feel of it, not being a native Spanish-speaking person, you still kind of get that in the sound and feel of everything. The fourth song is called When a Woman, and this is the first song that is in English, and it's about being in love. And the song still, Shakira does go back and forth between Spanish and English, so nothing ever really sounds out of place. So even though this song is in a different language than the first three, the music still connects it. It still feels like a natural part of the album. The fifth song on the album is called Amarillo, which I remembered from my high school days meant yellow, and it's a love song that uses colors to kind of express the emotions. And it sounds, this is going to sound a little kooky, but it sounds like it's inspired by the color yellow, more of a pastel yellow than a highlighter yellow, but it has, more of an optimistic, love, bright, sunny feel, but it's not quite as in your face. It's it's got a more laid back feel, but it's got that pretty yellow feel to it. I don't know, you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but that, I definitely got that. I did know that that was the name of the song, but that was kind of what I felt as I was hearing it as well. The sixth song on the album is called Perro Fiel, which means faithful dog, and it's with Nicky Jam, who was another artist that I was not familiar with before. And I loved the like Latin percussion that was throughout this song. And it's kind of about being unsure of what they want do they want a relationship, do they not, but knowing that the other person will be there for them like a faithful dog. So that's where kind of the title ties into the rest of it. The seventh song is called Trap, and that Maluma person, this is the second time we see them. They come back on this one, and this has a slower, sexier vibe, which matches the sexier lyrics of the song, and I really liked this one. Because I don't speak Spanish, and a lot of what I talk about tends to be what songs are about and the lyrics that go with them, and if the music really connects with that. The one exception I made to not doing any research was I would try to look up translations of the lyrics and just read them as I was listening, so that I would get kind of a basic idea of what they were about. So that's why when I say, like, this song's about this and this is about that, that's how I got that. And this song overall, it is definitely a sexier song lyrically and musically than what came before it. Song number 8 is Come Moi, which translated to Like Me, and this is a song she did with Black M. She sings the chorus in English, and then he kind of does his thing on the verses in Spanish, and then she also sings the bridge a little bit, but her parts are all in English and his parts are in Spanish, and it's kind of saying no one will love you like me. What's interesting, and I'll talk about this more when I get to the second one, but there's an English version of this song, and it doesn't translate that way, so I don't know if that's just my personal error in Googling, because I used Google Translate, which I know is like not always the most reliable of sources, so I don't know if that was just because of that, or if it is actually intentionally different, if like the verses were kind of different, if the different artists that she worked with on the other song versus this one took a different approach to it. But like I said, I'll talk more about that when we get there. Song number 9 is called Coconut Tree. It's another song in English, and it's a love song, and it's written kind of in the past tense and reminiscent, but it doesn't sound like "and I'm missing you now." It sounds like "remember when we did all of these things." And the music kind of reflects the lyrics in that overall feel. You listen to it and you can picture yourself there on the beach underneath the coconut tree and this, kind of romantic scene that she sets up in it. The 10th song on the album is called La Bicicleta, and it's with Carlos Vives, and it translates to The Bike, and it's an upbeat love song. Song number 11 on the album is called Deja Vu, and it's with Prince Royce. This song is in Spanish, and it's about not going back to repeat a bad relationship and a bad love. The percussion in this one is what I've kind of come to associate with more island music. I guess when I hear it a lot of times, that's what it tends to be associated with. And it has an overall laid-back feel, and both artists sound good, and they complement each other very nicely on this song, I think. And the song number 12 on the album is called What We Said, and this is the English version of Come Moi, Moi, and the English version she does with Magic, which is that band who had that Rude song that you may remember from, and I just felt like what I was kind of talking about before, when I Google translated it, it came up as Like Me is what the lyrics were, and even when I looked up the translation, it was translating as Like Me within the verses. So I don't know if What We Said, if the verses, like with the different co-artist, they gave them a little bit of leeway in what exactly they were saying, and that's where the change in title came from, and even a little bit of the overall feel. And if so, it's interesting to even if not actually, it's still interesting to see what having two different artists work on the same song, but what they bring out of it and what's different about it it's interesting to see that approach. So I do actually really like that it's included on here, because you do get to kind of look into that a little bit more. So yeah, it's just another interesting take on it, and this is the English version. And the final song, number 13, is called Toneladas, which translates to tons, and it closes on a beautiful slow song that's about love, and it's possibly my favorite song on the whole thing. It's just a really beautiful song that I would suggest checking out. So overall, I would give this album probably a 3 out of 5. I didn't hate it by any means, but there wasn't anything about it that made me feel like I had to run out and buy it. With the exception of the last song and maybe 1 or 2 other songs on here, there was nothing that really stood out to me as being incredible or different and something that I needed to own. That being said, if it was played at like a friend's house, if it was played at a party, if it was played at a restaurant, you know, if I was out somewhere and this was playing, I wouldn't mind it at all. I mean, I would actually enjoy hearing it again. There's just nothing about it for me that says I need to own this because I need to listen to this over and over and over again. And so I guess that's kind of where the 3 comes from. It's good music. It is good music. It just never really reached like anywhere that was great or different or made it stand out to me in a way that I felt like it really deserved more than that. Feel free to agree or disagree. Either way, please let me know your feelings down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos of what I put out, feel free to subscribe. I'm so thankful to you all for watching, and I love you all so, so, so much. And as always, don't forget to share them smiles. Ciao for now, friends.